It's early July, which means normally the only Dynasty content that you are going to see are feel-good pieces about which player is about to break out next. And admittedly, I just did one myself. But this week, I'm not here for your feelings or to make you feel good about that wide receiver 7 on your Dynasty roster. Oh no. This week, I'm here to break hearts. So here are 3 Dynasty players I have literally zero interest in owning in Dynasty, and in a couple of months, I'd be willing to bet you won't either. Internet friends, new subscribers, and yes, even you non-subscribers, last week before we jumped in, I told you guys how much of an impact all your subscriptions make on this particular channel. And in an effort to keep it as transparent as possible, I want to continue to show you guys the subscriber growth that we have gained. So let's take a look at what we've done since last week. Well, we entered last week sitting at 1,945 subscribers. And as of today, a couple days before a full week, we're hovering right around 1,990, which is a bump of about 45 subscribers. So give yourselves a round of applause. This was a great gain over the course of a couple of days. I'm going to give you guys one myself. But again, a big thank you to all of the new subscribers. I truly do appreciate you guys joining me on this ride and helping to continue to motivate me to create new, unique content. So as usual, you guys, if you respond in the comments, I will get back to you personally. I do it on every video, so please do not hesitate to do it. And again, if you guys see something today that you enjoy or you appreciate the content that you have been viewing, then do me the great honor, hit the subscribe button and do not miss any of my new content. With all that out of the way, let's dive into this video. Not every player in Dynasty is destined for a breakout. In fact, sometimes these players show up unexpectedly and disappear just as fast. And because I know personally how much it sucks to get stuck left holding the bag, here are 3 players I will actively, with every fiber of my being, continue to avoid in 2022. Elijah Mitchell. Look, I'll admit it. A couple of months ago, I did a video about Elijah Mitchell and mentioned that he left more meat on the bone than vegans at a barbecue. And that feeling hasn't changed one bit since the official nod to Trey Lance and the 3rd round selection of Tyrion Davis-Price out of LSU. Again, if George Kittle is supposed to smash, and Debo is supposed to smash, and Brandon Ayuk is supposed to smash, and Trey Lance is supposed to smash, where will Elijah Mitchell fit in? Now, flashing back to 2021 while playing with Jimmy Garoppolo, a hyper-accurate quarterback who only averaged 2.5 rush attempts per game, Mitchell averaged 18.8 rush attempts while seeing just 1.8 targets per game. But here's the good news and bad news about those numbers. The good news is that Mitchell's 20.5 touches per game actually ranked 6th in the NFL by average and put him ahead of players like Antonio Gibson and Christian McCaffrey. But that honestly is about where the good news stops. Because last season, Mitchell was ineffective as a standalone rusher, was rarely targeted out of the backfield, and this was all before Trey Lance became the full-time starter. Now, Trey Lance only truly started 2 games in 2021. In his very first full start, Lance rushed 16 times, which subsequently relegated Mitchell to just 11 touches in the game. And then in week 17 versus Houston, Lance rushed just 8 times, and Elijah Mitchell turned 21 carries into 119 rush yards. Now, I'm not trying to expose every detail here because a carry is a carry, but prior to the 6-minute and 45-second mark in the 4th quarter of this game, with a 17-7 lead, Mitchell had just 65 total rush yards. So call it whatever you want. I don't care. But this is the start of concerns for me that fantasy gamers should keep an eye on. Lastly, as a running back in the NFL, if you aren't going to catch passes, you need to score touchdowns, right? And one big issue for Elijah Mitchell, even while Jimmy Garoppolo was quarterback, is that he saw just 3 total goal line carries in 11 NFL games and was averaging just 2.1 red zone touches per game. For perspective, Jonathan Taylor saw a league-high 20 goal line attempts and was averaging 5.4 red zone touches per game, more than twice that number. Meanwhile, Trey Lance, who started just 2 real NFL games, saw 5 goal line attempts of his own. So with the organization's concerns about continuous injuries to this backfield, the tangible level of athleticism that Davis-Price brings to this team, Shanahan's history of committee backfields, Mitchell's already underwhelming passing game usage, and Trey Lance's very real 10 rush attempt per game potential, Mitchell could finish worse in 2022 than he did in 2021 when he was just the fantasy RB16 in points per game. So get ready to buckle up, truthers. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, I'm old enough to remember when people were literally ransoming their league mates with second-round rookie pick requests for Travis Fulgham. Okay, maybe not literally, but it's like everyone forgot about that time that every single part of that Eagles offense was laid up on the couch or stuffed inside the blue tent, and Fulgham ran wild with immense target share. That's exactly the vibe that I got from St. Brown when he reenacted the exact same scene from the worst movie I've ever watched. Look, I mean, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Fool me once, shame on me twice. Damn it. Line.
Fool me once. Shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
Because over St. Brown's final 6 games of the season, he went nuclear. There's just truly no denying that. He was averaging an absurd 25.2 fantasy points per game with a snap share well above 80% average. But here's the problem. None of this was done on the backbone of premier singular performance versus coverage types, and where he did excel versus coverages is similar to what we would see from high volume slot guys. And I should qualify that my beef isn't as much with St. Brown as it is with his prior value on keep trade cut, when he launched all the way up to the Dynasty wide receiver 19. Because you see that the problem is Detroit trailed on 64% of its plays in 2021, and with injuries plus a razor-thin depth chart, St. Brown was thrust into this role. Look, I'm not making this up. Here's the Lions' 2021 passing game distribution. The second most targeted wideout in this offense was Khalif Raymond. And the third most targeted wide receiver in this offense was Josh Reynolds. So it's not a surprise whatsoever that a team who was constantly trailing, was constantly missing its star tight end in TJ Hawkinson, had one of the league's highest running back target rates, gave 119 targets to a 4th-round rookie wide receiver who ran 62.5% of his routes out of the slot. But in 2022, Detroit should look better on the defensive side of the ball, and it enters the season with a top 5 offensive line. It also just added DJ Chark as well as deep threat rookie Jameson Williams to this lineup. So if Detroit's plan is to play close football games and utilize its stars like DeAndre Swift, like TJ Hawkinson, like Jameson Williams when he's healthy, then it's hard to imagine a world where a 4th-round wide receiver carves out even close to the role that we saw him with in 2021. Devin Singletary. Somehow, Singletary feels like the middle ground between Elijah Mitchell and Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I did not plan this. Because the concern about Trey Lance is exactly the same one we have with Josh Allen, and the late season explosion like we saw from Amon-Ra St. Brown is exactly what we saw from Devin Singletary. But to this point in his career, Singletary has been just fine. Like Miss Parker.
Damn! Miss Parker finer than a motherfucker.
But the minute Buffalo went and invested a 2nd-round rookie pick into James Cook, I knew it was time to start counting down the doomsday clock. And even as someone who isn't necessarily a fan of James Cook, there is one thing you just can't deny. As a pass catcher, he is dynamically superior to Singletary in every way. In every Singletary way. This is especially concerning too because last season Singletary's 50 targets were a welcome sight and it felt like there was potential room for more entering 2022. But Josh Allen is the perfect example of why game-changing fantasy quarterbacks are absolutely terrible for average rushers. For starters, Singletary averaged just 11.1 rush attempts per game, which was good for the RB36 overall. He also averaged just 2.9 targets per game, which made him the RB29 overall, and he saw 46 red zone touches, which was top 12 at the position, but was 46 red zone touches behind Jonathan Taylor and just 14 ahead of Josh Allen himself. Yet to top all of this off is one of the likely reasons that Buffalo went and added high-end competition to their backfield in 2022, and that's Singletary's contract. With an additional year on Moss's deal remaining, the fact that Singletary will be an unrestricted free agent in 2023 after numerous mediocre seasons in Buffalo has to be a topic at hand. Again, this is a team with a projected bottom 11 surplus of cap space entering 2023, and that title window is a clock that is always counting down. So with Singletary potentially losing even more of the work that he never had to high-round draft selection James Cook, it may be now or never if you want to jump ship on one of the NFL's most artificially inflated running back options. Thanks for checking out the video once again, guys. If you enjoyed this one, again, like, comment, hit the subscribe button. Every subscriber helps me out. If you look back here, I'll get out of the way. You can see I got a YouTube counter. Let me move. There it is. You can see it counting down currently. Right there, that's the guy. Let's keep making that baby go up. I love seeing that thing go up. Every time I walk into my studio, I see it jump up 10 subscribers. Great feeling. Help me make me feel great. And guys, as I've talked about in the past, if you want to join the Discord, over 660 members, it's super active. Trade channels, you guys can reach out to me. Tell me what I got right. Tell me what you love. Tell me what you hate. That's the place you can find me. If you do not want to drop a comment in the comment section below, once again, guys, I appreciate you guys checking out every video, and we will see you again next week with something arguably just as spicy.